Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. So in today's session we are going to be learning about using Scratch. Scratch is a great program that you can access online and it enables you to create animations and games and to have a lot of fun learning programming in a child-friendly way. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to open up the internet and you're going to put in the Scratch web address. So you're going to type scratch.mit.edu. Once you've done that, you're then going to sign in over here. Now, if you've not yet joined Scratch, this is something that you'll need to do first. And it does take a little while because you have to come up with a unique username. You also need your parents to help by putting in their email address and then verifying your account on their emails. So it does take a little while. So I would recommend that if you haven't joined Scratch already, that you just watch this session for now. And then as soon as we've finished the session, you can replay it, having joined Scratch, and then you can follow along. Some of you may need to watch it anyway because the place where you're working might also be the place where you're watching and you might not be able to do both very easily. So this live video, this will be on the YouTube channel afterwards as well, so you can just watch it back. So please don't worry if you miss a bit or if you get behind or if you've not actually joined yet and you can't follow along. That's absolutely no problem. So I'm just going to sign in over here first of all, and then I'm going to give you a little introduction to the layout of Scratch. Okay, so I've just signed in. I'm Mrs. Diggy. I'm going to be your teacher in Scratch for today. And I'm just going to show you basically how to get started. So if you're already experienced using Scratch, you may want to watch anyway. You always get new ideas from watching other people and looking at other people's projects. Or you may decide to come back when we're doing a session that's aimed at people that have used Scratch before. Totally up to you, but hopefully most of you will enjoy this and you'll get something new out of it. Okay, so just to explain the layout of Scratch, when you first log into Scratch, you'll see your username up at the top here. Mine says Mrs. Diggy. When I click on the drop down arrow, you can see that I get profile, my stuff, account settings and sign out. The place where you will normally go is to my stuff. This is to access things that you've created before. So if I click on my stuff, you will see there's a whole list of things that I've created here. So we've got some greetings cards here, the first few, and some other little projects. You can see that some of them I've shared and some of them I haven't. The ones that have nothing here, where this bit's blank, that means it's not been shared online. So nobody can see that except for me. These ones here have actually been shared online. So if other people knew where to look for them and wanted to find them, they could actually view them. Or if I sent them a link for it, they could actually view them. To make it easy for you guys to find stuff that I think you might find useful, I've actually put the things we're going to be looking at today into a studio. So if I click on my studios, there's one called Cartwheels and Creations. So you can see here that there are 3 different projects here. They're all to do with making greetings cards or simple animations with a few basic techniques in Scratch. This studio is a place where we're going to be putting projects. I will be putting projects here for you to look at and see inside to see how I've done them. And you can also put some of the cool projects that you make in here so that other people in the Cartwheels and Creations community can have a look at them. And I'll show you how to do that later, so don't worry about that for now. So I'm just going to show you a couple of these just so you get an idea of the sort of things we might do today. Let's have a look at this party invite animation first, because this one's quite good fun. So I'm just going to click on here. Okay, so you can see already that I've put some instructions in here. I've said click the green flag to start, click on the dinosaur's hat when prompted. So I'm going to press the green flag to start. Hello, is someone having a party? Yeah, watch me dance. Wow, cool moves and nice hat. Thanks. Click on my hat to help me wear it. So I'm going to click on the hat here, and you can see it moves to the dinosaur's head. So that was a really simple animation which has come to the party on it. Obviously you could put whatever you liked on there. I'm going to go back again now and we're going to have a look at one of the others. Let's have a look at the animated Happy Holidays card. So this is one that I made to show my class when I was teaching how to make Happy Holidays cards for their family members. So we're going to click on here, Happy Holidays from Mrs. Diggy. Click the star to help me decorate. So again, I've done something similar to the last one. On the last one, it was a hat that we moved when we clicked. This time you click and it's a star that moves. Okay, so I've got a moving element to both of my animations. You can see I've also got these snowflakes that I've got appearing and disappearing. I'm going to show you one more animation and then we're going to move on to creating our own. So I'm going to click on this one. Another greetings card. This is just a random card and it's something that might be really nice for you to do at the moment, is to make an online animated card for a member of your family. Perhaps you've got somebody in your family that's stuck at home on their own that could do with cheering up, and this would be a great way to do that. So let's watch this one. You mean more than the world to me. There we go. So that one's a really, really simple one, and you could obviously add more to that. So we're going to work on maybe something similar to this and see if we can add a few more elements to it as well. But this is just a very, very simple card. If I wanted to share this with somebody in my family, just as an example, once you've created it, can you see at the top here, the web address has got projects and then it's got a number. This is the number that links especially directly to this card. So all I would need to do is to highlight that, hold down Control and C to copy it, and then I would then paste that into an email. You could ask your parents to help you to do that if you weren't sure how, but the shortcut for pasting is Control and V. So if I go to a new tab now on Google and I paste that address in at the top there, so I've just pressed Control V and that's put that up the top here. If I now press enter, you'll see it will take me straight to that project. So that would be a good way to share it with somebody in the family, is to actually send them the code or the web address afterwards. You can even write it down and then get your parents to send it in a text message, or you could send it in a text message if you're somebody with a phone. Okay, so let's go back to here now. I'm going to pretend that I haven't even started a project. We're going to start from scratch. So if you've not got anything in my stuff, which you probably haven't if you're just starting out, you're going to press create. So this is how we start with a brand new Scratch project. I'm just going to introduce you to how it looks. So this area in the middle, this is where we're going to be putting our code to work on. Over here, this is where we see the animation. So this is where the action happens. This is the character they give you automatically. In Scratch, characters are called sprites, and this one is called Sprite 1. So he's a really cute little fellow. But you may decide you don't want him. You can delete him there with the little trash can, and you can choose your own sprites down here. So we'll do that in just a moment. The next thing I want to show you, over on the left here, you'll see different circles. You've got motion, looks, sound, events, and they're color coded. So at the moment, I'm seeing motion is highlighted, and I'm seeing all of the motion blocks. So these are blocks of code, basically. The code is within the block. So it's written in language that we understand, move 10 steps, but within that block there's some code written out that will tell the character how to actually do that. And we're basically going to be, it's like a jigsaw, we're going to be putting blocks together to make our little characters do something. If I switch to looks blocks, it's things to do with how your character looks, and these blocks are in purple because looks is in purple, and so on. One of the most important colours that you'll need to see along here, the events blocks, these ones enable you to decide when something's going to happen. And I like using this one, the when the green flag is clicked. So this is like when the start button is pressed and then you tell it what you want it to do. So for example, when the green flag is clicked, I could say move 10 steps. Okay, so now if I click my green flag, the character moves 10 steps. Okay, and this just enables everything to happen automatically. So you want everything to happen when the person's clicked the green flag or the go button. Okay, so that's just something there. So I'm going to get rid of that again. You can actually get rid of code just by dragging it over here like that if you don't want it. I'm going to leave that bit though because I'm going to use that in a moment. Actually, do you know what? Let's get rid of it for now. Okay, I'm going to get rid of Sprite 1 because he's not the character that I want. So I'm just going to get rid of him. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to choose whichever sprite I want. You can see they're organised by animals, people, fantasy, and so on. I'm going for a spacey one again, so I'm going to go for fantasy. And I think I might go for, let's have a look. Let's go for Giga because I like him. Okay, so I've got Giga. I'm going to move him down here. So you can change where they are. You can put them wherever you want to on your screen. So I'm going to put Giga here. And then I'm going to choose a friend for him. So I'm going to go for a second sprite. Again, I'm going to go to fantasy. And I'm going to have, let's have Gobo. He looks quite cute, doesn't he? Let's have Gobo. Actually, let's have Gobo that side and let's put Giga over here. Okay, and the last thing that I'm going to do now, I'm going to choose a background because as you can see, the background's white. Just down here where it says stage and backdrops, you can choose a backdrop. So I'm going to click there and I'm going to pick one. Again, you can choose by category at the top there, or you can just scroll through all of them. No, I don't want fantasy actually. I'm going to go for space. We go for this one and do the cheesy "I love you to the moon and back" saying. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to do that one. Or we could do oh, I don't know. Yeah, anything like that. Anyway, let's do that. So mine are going to be on the moon. Okay, so these two characters are on the moon. And okay, now at the moment you can see that Giga is highlighted down here. That means that in this area here, I'm working on the code for Giga. If I wanted to work on the code for Gobo, I click on Gobo. And now I get to work on the code for Gobo. So I'm going to start off with Gobo. And I think what we'll do, we're going to just go for an event. We're going to say when the green flag is clicked, and we're going to get Gobo, we're going to get him to say something. So let's go to looks, because we're going to go for a speech bubble rather than him actually saying something. And I'm going to say when the green flag is clicked, I want Gobo to say hello. That's fine, isn't it? So let's say hello. Or actually, yeah, let's go for hello. So he's going to say hello. I'm going to press the green flag. Hello. And you can see in the animation here, that's what happens. Now, as you can see, it hasn't actually disappeared because I haven't told it to. It just says when the green flag is clicked, say hello. So if you didn't want that to stay there, you might go for the one above that instead, which says say hello for 2 seconds. Let's try that. So I'm just going to press stop, press go again. Hello, 1, 2, and it disappears. If you wanted it to be longer, let's say you've written a whole sentence out, you could make it stay up for 5 seconds or however long you wanted to. Now, if I want to get Giga to say something back, I'm now going to click on Giga and I'm going to go to events again. I'm going to say when the green flag is clicked, and I'm going to get him to say something back. So I'm going to go to looks and I'm going to get him to say, oh, hi. Okay, so he's saying, oh, hi. Okay, now when I press the green flag, what's going to happen here is they're both going to talk at the same time, because for both of them, I've just said when the green flag is clicked, talk for 2 seconds. So if you look, they're both talking at the same time. Now I might want to stagger this. We know that Gobo talks for 2 seconds, and we know that Giga talks for 2 seconds. So if I made Giga wait for 2 seconds before he talks, that's really annoying. I've chosen 2 characters whose names both begin with G because it makes it confusing. But anyway, if I want to get Giga to wait for 2 seconds before he speaks, that would probably be better. So I'm going to go back to events. Sorry, not yes, events. No, control, sorry. And you'll see under control, we've got a wait button here. So I'm going to click on the wait button and I'm going to pop it in here. So I'm going to say when the green flag is clicked, I want Giga to wait for 2 seconds, and then he's going to say what he wants to say. So let's just click it now. Hello. Oh, hi. And you'll see that that was staggered. It didn't come up at exactly the same time because while this wait is happening, that is when Gobo is speaking and then Giga speaks back to him. So that's a really simple way to do it. You could carry that conversation on if you wanted to. So I could click back on Gobo now, and then I could get him to wait for 2 seconds. This is while Gig is saying, oh, hi. And then I could get him to speak again. So I could get him to say, I love you to the moon and back. Now, that might be way too cheesy for you. You could just come up with something funny or something sweet or whatever you want to say. If you were doing it to your grandparents, you might want the first one to say, oh, hi, and the other one to say, or the first one to say hello, and the other one to say, we've got a message for you. And then you could go back to the first one and they could say something like, hope you're okay, or something like that, whatever you want it to be. I'm going to go super cheesy. I love you to the moon and back. And because that's a longer sentence, I'm going to make that 4 seconds so they have time to read it. So let's play that now. Hello. Oh, hi. I love you to the moon and back. There you go. And there was plenty of time to read that. Okay, so that worked out quite well. So we've done that. Now I'm going to show you some other cool things that you can do with your characters, apart from just making speech bubbles come out. So let's just have a little look. First of all, I want to show you something called costumes before we start playing around with the other blocks. If you look up the top here, can you see where it says costume? This is something we haven't looked at yet. If I click on costumes, this will show me the costumes for Gobo. So this is Gobo, the one we're clicked on at the moment. So it's showing me Gobo's costumes. Now Gobo has 3 different costumes. Look, that's costume A here. He's got his mouth shut. If I click on costume B, he's got his mouth open. And if I click on costume C, he looks surprised. Okay, so if he was talking, I might go between A and B to make it look like mouth shut, mouth open, for example. So I'm going to go back to his code. So we've gone back to code, and I'm going to get it so that he opens and shuts his mouth, because I think that would make it look more like he was talking. It would look kind of cool. So I'm going to make another event that runs alongside this event. So this is a second event, but it's going to happen at the same time. Again, I'm saying when the green flag is clicked, something will happen. And so I can have 2 things happening at the same time. So I'm going to say when the green flag is clicked, and I'm going to say go to his looks, because we're talking about how he looks when we're talking about costumes. You don't click up here. This is just to see what the costumes are. And maybe if you wanted to change costumes here, you can. So if you want to, you can change colour and all sorts. This is the paint bucket here. You can actually fill them in. So you can customise them. But obviously, if you customise B, you might also want to customise A, and so on. Anyway, I'm going to, oh, can I put that back now? I don't know how to put that back. Where's the undo? Here it is, undo. Right, so I'm going to go back to my code, and I'm going to say when the green flag is clicked, I want him to switch costume to Gobo A. That was costume A, so that was with his mouth shut. So if I now press the green flag, you can see it's open at the moment, his mouth shuts, okay? But to make it look like he's talking, I then want him to switch costume to costume B. So let's try that now. Hello. So he opens his mouth. When you press the green flag, he starts with his mouth shut and he opens his mouth. Except, if you notice then, let me just stop it. If I press the green flag, he didn't actually shut his mouth. And that's because, because you haven't put any kind of weight in there, it thinks you want to go straight from costume A to costume B. And if he's already at costume B, great, he's already there. But we wanted to actually see him go from A to B, didn't we? We didn't want him just to go there. So we're going to put a little control block in. We're going to put a weight in there. So we're going to say, when the green flag is clicked, I'm actually going to make him, I'm actually going to put the weight in between. So we're going to say we want him to switch to Gobo A, then we want him to wait, not for a whole second, I'm just going to get him to wait for 0.5, which is half a second, and then switch costume to costume B. So watch now. Hello, and you saw him open his mouth there, and he says, oh, hi. So what we could do is we could put in another little wait here while he's waiting for the other one to say, oh, hi, maybe 2 seconds. And then maybe we could get him to do his costume switch thing again. So we could then get him to go, switch costume to Gobo A. So he's going back to the beginning. Then we could get him to wait again. Again, I'm going to go for a short time, half second, and then I'm going to get him to switch costume again to Gobo B. Right, so let's just play that. Hello, hello. Oh, hi. I love you to the moon and back. Okay, so he's opening and shutting his mouth a little bit there. Let's just watch that again. So he's moving his mouth while Gig is speaking, not when he's speaking. So this wait in the middle needs to be a bit longer. So I'm going to make that 5 seconds. Let's watch again now and see if he's moving his mouth at the right time. Hello. Yep, he moved his mouth there. Now he's waiting. Oh, it's too long before he started moving. So we'll make that 4 seconds. Let's try that. Okay, so I'm watching his mouth to see if I've timed it about right. Let's play it again. Hello. Oh, hi. I love you to the moon and back. Yeah, that worked quite well, didn't it? Okay, so we've had a look at costumes and how you can use costumes for doing various things, for changing between costumes. Giga also has costumes which are also to do with him moving his mouth. Some of them have costumes that are to do with them moving their legs and all sorts of different things. So just whenever you choose a new sprite, it's always fun to have a look at their costumes and see what different things they can do. Giga C looks like he can actually do a little giggle. So it would be quite cute after Gobo said, I love you to the moon and back, for him to put his hands up to his mouth. So we could at the end just get him to switch to Giga C if we wanted to. So let's just quickly pop that in there. So we're on Giga here. So he says, oh, hi. Then the other one says, I love you to the moon and back. So while he's doing that, let's do a little wait. So let's wait while he's saying it. We're not going to wait for the whole time because that's 5 seconds, wasn't it? We had for that. So let's say after 3 seconds, he's going to put his hands up to his mouth, and we're going to go for looks, switch costume to, I've forgotten what number it was. So I'm going to click again to look. Yep, Giga C is the one we want. So he's going to change to Giga C. And what's going to happen now is that he's already on Giga C, so he's not going to change to Giga C because he's already on that costume. So we do need to say when the green flag is clicked that he goes back to his original costume. So we're going to say when the green flag is clicked, he switches to Giga A, and then after all the talking, he then changes to Giga C. So let's watch that now. So he's gone back to Giga A. Hello. Oh, hi. I love you to the moon and back. And he's smiling, he's happy about that. Okay, so that's fine. So as I say, you can play around with the timings, you can play around with what they're saying, you can play around with which blocks you put together. The whole thing about using Scratch is having fun and trying things out. Now, I'm aware we've already been talking for about 23 minutes, and I don't want to keep you for much longer. So I'm just going to show you a couple of other little things, and then you can go away and have some fun with doing this yourself. Let's just have a really quick look at adding in some sounds now, because we've talked about code, we've talked about costumes. Let's have a quick chat about sounds. So if I go to sounds here, you can see that they're recommending for Giga the sound pop. We can hear what that sounds like. It makes a random little noise, pop, pop. Yeah, you may decide that that's not the sound that you want Giga to make. So down at the bottom here it says choose a sound. You can click on here. You've got loads of different sounds, and you can hear what they sound like. So I'm going to go for let's go for a space one and see if we can put a space sound at the beginning. Ooh, that's a funny one, isn't it? Wow, they're exciting. So I think I'm going to go for a general space noise and just kind of put that at the beginning for fun. So I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to say, yes, please, space noise. So now I've chosen space noise. It's now got 2 noises that are recommended for Giga. It's got pop and space noise. So now I'll be able to use both of those 2 noises in the code. So if I go to my code, so I'm just going to put that noise at the beginning of my, just randomly. So I'm going to go to sound, and I'm going to say play sound space noise until done. I'm just going to pop that in there at the beginning. And I'm also going to add a little wait to Gobo, because obviously we don't want Gobo to start talking quite as soon now, because he's going to be listening to that space sound. So we don't want him to say hello straight away. So I'm just going to add in another little wait there. Let's just put in, just make him wait for 1 second. Okay, let's do that. Ready? Hello. Oh, hi. I love you to the moon and back. And then he's going to smile. Yay! He's happy about that. Lovely. Okay, so we've put in a little bit of sounds there. Just a couple of other last minute things to show you motion. Obviously, we talked a little bit about motion earlier. I showed you the move 10 steps. You could say that you're going to get Gobo to move 10 steps before he speaks at the beginning. So you could say he's going to move, wait for 1 second, then he's going to move and say hello. So if we watch that now. Hello. So he moved before he said hello. Now the problem with that is every time you press the green flag, he's going to move 10 steps, which means that as you keep playing it, he's going to move further and further towards Giga. So what you do need to do, if you're going to put any sort of movement in, you need to make sure that you've said where you want him to be at the beginning, so that you don't have to keep dragging him back, because otherwise that's going to be a bit of a pain. So what we're going to do, if you just have a look here quickly, can you see where it says X and Y? That's his coordinates. You know, in maths where you draw the big cross and you're doing coordinates and making a grid, you have the Y-axis going down and the X-axis going across. You don't really need to worry about that, but it's just saying where he is on the page. If I move him, those coordinates change. Can you see those numbers have changed? It's like a code for where he is. So when he stood there, he's at minus 185, minus 33. And if you look over here, it says go to minus 185, minus 33. That's where I want him to start. So I just say, when the green flag is clicked, I want him to go to here. Then I could even make him move a bit further. Let's make him move 50. See how close he moves. Let's try it out. Okay. Hello. See, he moved quite a long way there. And then he says, oh, hi. I love you to the moon and back. And then he does a little giggle. And if I press the green flag again, you'll notice that he should move back to the beginning, because we've told him now that he has to start at minus 185, minus 33. There you go. See, he moved back there, okay, before he started. So it's always useful, if you're going to be putting any sort of movement, you need to make sure that you tell them where to start, what coordinates you want them to start at. You don't have to guess where the coordinates are going to be. Just move your character around. If you want him to start here, for example, have a look at the coordinates, which are here, and then you know that that's where you want him to be, minus 145, 99, or whatever. So you can do that. You can also tell them where you want them to move to. So instead of saying move 50 steps, I'm going to change that. Now, when I want to change something, if I want to get to this block and I try and pull it out, it pulls the whole thing. So I need to pull the ones underneath it down. Then I can chuck that one away. Now I've got a gap. Instead of having just move 50 steps, you could actually get him to glide. So I could get him to glide somewhere. Now at the moment, it's just picked some random, it's picked where he is now. So I'm going to move him to where I want him to glide to. So let's say I want him to glide to here, minus 22, minus 39. So I can just change that in there, minus 22, minus 39. So now, when I press it, he should go back to the beginning, minus 185, minus 33. And he glides, hello, which looks quite cool. Oh, hi, I love you to the moon and back. Okay, and so there's all sorts of things that you can play around with. Hopefully that will give you enough just to be getting started. Now, in the next session that I do, I will be talking a little bit more about creating loops using the repeat button, and I'm going to show you how to create a game. So if you'd like to learn how to make a basic game, make sure you tune in to the next tutorial. Just last thing to point out, this project at the moment is called Untitled 29. I'm going to call that now, I'm going to call it something like Moon and Back Greeting. but you can call it whatever you like, whatever your version's called, and it should automatically save, but if it hasn't yet saved, it will say save now. So just before you close it or come out of it, make sure you press save now. So it says project saved. If you want the project to be available on the internet and to have its own code that people can put into their internet so they can go to your card, you need to share. So you need to make it public. So if I press share, it now says congratulations on sharing your project. Other people can now try it out, give it comments and remix it. One of the things about the Scratch community is that you can remix other people's projects, which again I will explain to you in a later session. I'm going to add this one to my studio, so I'm going to click add to studio. I'm going to add it to Cartwheels and Creations, which is the studio where I'm putting stuff for you guys. Press OK. So that's now in there. Thank you so much for coming today. Please check out the website www.cartwheelsandcreations.com. See lots of fun activity ideas for things that you can do at home, and to keep your eye on future events that are coming up. You can also check out the YouTube channel if you want to re-watch any of the videos. And I hope to see you again. Thank you so much. I'm sure you've all done a really good job today, and if you haven't yet got started, then go and have some fun. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.